He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife. Useless. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Although she doesn't think this because her narcissism prevents her from seeing it, it is fair to say that this one's wife is useless. When you look at the long list of things that she's failed at, you can't help but reach the conclusion she's useless. She had a podcast. There are many interesting, amusing, talented individuals who would deserve the platform and advertising and marketing muscle that she enjoyed with archetypes. Yet, they don't receive it. This one's wife, by virtue of the fact that she married a ginger prince, was afforded this muscle, and she blew it with a bland, beige series of podcasts where other people did most of the work, where she just simply talked more than her guests, and utilised it as a method of ticking off all of those descriptions that had been used in relation to her by trying to suggest that she was tackling them as a means of empowering women. Most people were not fooled. She embarked on the 40 by 40 project, which went nowhere. Not only had she copied this from other people, she then didn't bother pursuing it, and it disappeared without a trace. The content creation from Netflix started off with a degree of a bang with the Harry and This One's Wife series, which received a lot of views, albeit many of them grudge watches, and thereafter the content that has been repeatedly promised hasn't manifested, and that which has been provided amounted to being damp squibs. Another failure. She failed at being a royal. She was pretty useless. She barely did it, only lasting a number of days in terms of actual appointments that she attended and functions where she represented the royal family. Her narcissism dictated that it wasn't for her. She attempted to muscle her way into the A-list and failed because she's useless. She's tried to become a fashion icon, which is laughable given the fact that much of her clothing doesn't fit her properly. Again, useless. You can take your pick of instances whereby this one's wife has sought to succeed, whether it's writing a children's book, which actually was not that interesting for children, reading said children's book, and doing so in circumstances where the children were visibly bored, in Harlem in New York, and then on YouTube, where it was massively trounced by a huge number of dislikes and adverse comments. You can look at the American Riviera orchard debacle, which is an utter fiasco, which shows the laziness and the grifting nature of this one's wife, all driven by that magical thinking whereby she believes that because it's her, it will just come to pass. She's talent-free, charisma-free, lacks a sense of humour, lacks a motivation in terms of a work ethic, and instead expects to be paid just for turning up and being her. But we now have a piece of footage which perhaps really does exemplify just how useless she is. Are you ready? Here it comes. absolutely fucking useless. Have you ever seen somebody so completely pointless? As you saw, it was from the recent Colombia trip where there was an attendance at a school. The vice president, she's wielding the shovel, getting down to moving a bit of the earth as they plant some trees. You can see Harry, we know that he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he knows how to use a shovel. But what on earth is going on with this one's wife? What is she doing? She's hovering around the hole with the shovel as if to say, what do I do with this? Nobody's asked me if I'm okay. Nobody showed me what I need to do with this. What is it? Does she not know where the earth goes? Is she unsure of what to do with it? Does she think that she should be digging something up so that there's a pot of gold there? Her hesitation is hilarious. You can see the photographer looking at her as if to say, what on earth are you doing? And in the end, her narcissism causes her to direct the child that she kept using as a prop to come and stand by her and then to take hold of her hand. This is another instance of the 404 moment for this one's wife, exemplifying her uselessness. It's a simple enough task. You're there in front of various onlookers, the vice president and your husband. They're shoveling the earth. You need to do similar. But for some reason, her narcissism didn't allow her to grasp this task, possibly because she viewed it as beneath her. After all, we don't often see this one's wife engaging in the physical, unlike Harry, unlike her sister-in-law, Catherine. She tends just to prefer to show up, hug people, grab a microphone and talk word salad. Yes, she did something resembling dancing for a brief period of time on the Colombia trip, but you don't normally see her getting involved in any physical activity. And perhaps it was the shock of prospective physical activity that caused her narcissism to freeze and go into a 404 moment where it didn't know what to do. Thus, she hovered, brandishing the shovel as if it was an alien artifact, before her narcissism decided that it would be appropriate to bring the child beside her for the purposes of facade management. It's quite astonishing and is a brilliant instance of demonstrating just how useless she is. Can you imagine not even being able to work out what you should be doing for a photo opportunity with a shovel? If she was a politician, she would have got massacred, and no doubt there would have been plenty of puns and headlines recording all of that. Here, you're treated to a 404 moment where a narcissist's narcissism fails to assist her in deciding what to do. Remember, it is the narcissism that's glitching here. She's involved with other appliances. As you can see in the video, there's 20 or so people around, possibly other teachers, school children, security people, and so forth. Therefore, she is guided by her narcissism, as she always is when there are other people around. But it fails to give her an option in terms of fitting in by causing her to halt with regard to the shoveling, which makes her look useless and then causes her to turn to the child prop once again, triangulating that child with the other people for the purposes of the pursuit of the prime aims. There are lots of examples of this one's wife being useless, but I have to say her complete lack of understanding as to what to do with a shovel probably is up there in the top 3 to demonstrate just how useless she is, as useless as a chocolate teapot. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.